Hello, everybody, and welcome to Full Throttle Business, the show where we interview entrepreneurs and leaders to uncover what it really takes to build a business operating full throttle. My name is Kelly Peitz. I'm the owner of Action Coach Central and Southeast Virginia. If this is your first time on the channel, be sure to like and subscribe to get notifications when we drop new shows just like this one. Today, I have Xenia Razinski, the founder and president of IPCH International, with me as my guest. Welcome, Xenia. I really appreciate you taking time with us today.
Thank you, Kelly. It's great to be here.
Please give us a brief overview of your background and tell us just a little bit about your business.
I began my work with a family business. First, to say my family's first generation immigrants. My parents and I moved to the United States from Europe in early 90s, and I grew up here and really watched my parents build from ground up their family business. And I grew up in it. I worked in it as soon as I was old enough to work. So I got to really experience what it's like to have your own business, to build it, to go through all the challenges that come with it. We did mostly international investments. Early on, it was in trade finance focused, and then we switched to private equity infrastructure development. So turned more into family office. And that was interesting to kind of expose myself to the global business, international trade, and different kind of developments. I also educated myself in business. I went to business school undergrad at Boston University, and later I wanted to enhance certain aspects like finance and entrepreneurship. So I took a global executive MBA at Columbia and London Business School. So it was a joint dual program. And so that reinforced my experience of basically seeing how businesses work, how to put projects together, how to do evaluations and project financing.
Mhm.
And shortly after my MBA, I saw that a lot of my friends were leaving the corporate world and wanted to start their own business, and they've never done anything on their own. So I started to get a lot of inquiries like, what is it like to have your own business? So what is it like to, build a business plan for yourself? So I began IPCH Consulting, one to support my family business that was undergoing a downturn at the time, and also to really apply my experience. And I felt like I have a lot to share. So I began consulting mostly small businesses, startups, and sometimes mid-sized businesses on growth strategy. But also I sometimes work on the investor side, helping them do project valuations and make informed investment decisions.
Okay. Well, tell us a little bit about the role that you're currently playing in your business.
I currently work with clients. Right now, I have mostly small consulting groups, but every once in a while, a bigger project comes up. My mostly my focus has been on business strategy. So if it's a startup, I help them do the market research, put together a valid business plan. Having been on the private equity investment side, I understand what it takes to get a business funded, what both lenders and investors look for. So I advise on that. If I'm able to connect with any investments, I certainly am able to do that. And more recently, in the last couple of years, especially since the pandemic had such a big hit morally on people, I began to notice that what's lacking is that people are so demoralized and they really don't know. There's so much stress going on. There's so much uncertainty in the world that what's lacking is really self perseverance and resilience. And having gone through a downturn with my family business, I learned firsthand what it's like to be resilient or what it takes to be resilient. So I
Mhm.
began to shifting focus a little bit more, obviously continuing to consult on the KPIs and the business models, but also working more directly with the owners and managers in terms of their kind of personal self-development, motivation, and perseverance. And if you take two businesses, for example, and they're identical, why does one succeed and one doesn't?
Right.
Oftentimes it's the soft skills. So that's what I've been shifting my focus for more.
Yeah, absolutely. It's how much the owner is really learning and growing. I mean, you got to constantly grow and change and identity shift a lot of times. So when you look at your role, So business owners, to succeed, you have to work a lot. You do a lot of you usually wearing lots of hats, When you're looking at your role, how many hours do you spend working in your business, the job stuff, the consulting, and then how many on the business, the strategy, the planning?
It varies, but it is one of actually the biggest challenges of being your own business owner, especially when you're freelancing. I am a one-person show right now. I've worked with we've had smaller groups and when I worked in my family office, but right now it's mostly just me. So it is about I would say half. Right now it's a little bit more in the business planning, mainly because I am looking to do some new things. The challenges that I do wear many hats. I have a very diverse experience and trying to pick a narrower focus, but at the same time, kind of structured in a way where I can bring the most benefits to my clients is something that I am doing more of the planning right now. But I usually devote the maximum amount of time that I can for my clients, especially if it's something urgent or if they need my attention. I tend to be very flexible and give all the time and efforts that clients require.
hmm So let's talk about a little bit about what makes your business special. I mean, who does it primarily serve? If I was out in the audience listening, how would I know that I would be a good fit for your service?
If it's somebody who has an idea and is excited about starting a business, has all the plans but have never done it before and maybe didn't even go to business school or maybe hasn't applied the business school concepts, that is where I really can help work through, extract the value and put together a business plan that can set them on a path to success. At the same time, if there's somebody who has a business that's been either successful, but they're looking for something bigger, some growth, some expansion, or they're experiencing challenges, anything from partnership disputes, which is something that I've learned a lot about from my family business. It's sometimes the best intentions of partnering with somebody doesn't always work out, as in personal relationships as well. So I have experience with that, and I've actually helped people who've had disputes where they just didn't see eye to eye, or they got hit by the economic. Right now we're experiencing an energy crisis with what's going on in the world, but also we had the pandemic, and during the pandemic, I helped a few businesses go through the kind of the black swan event of having complete shutdowns. So
Mhm.
anybody who needs like that kind of turnaround strategy or something of that sort. I also help because I'm a smaller, more flexible one-person shop, but I have pretty much the experience of big consulting firms. So it's also if somebody doesn't want to go to the big fives and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on consulting, but needs kind of that level of expertise, I can certainly provide that.
All right. So, there's a lot of different consultants, firms out there, coaching firms. What makes your business unique? Why does a customer or client choose you versus maybe a competitor?
And my approach, and I've actually it's something that has been raised as also as a critical point, but point of criticism. But my approach is actually very flexible. I customize my job and my project approach based on what the customer needs. So
hmm
while I do have like a general, like I just described, like the kind of customer I look for, every business is different. Every customer has a different need. So one of the
hmm
challenges is when you go to a big firm, they basically hand you forms and say, okay, this is our way of doing it, and we're going to show it to you, and it's been proven and it's worked for decades, so here it is. For me,
hmm
it's being aware of what those structures are, but also understanding they don't work for everybody. So
Yeah.
I'm much more hands-on. I'm much more flexible, and I just look at what the ask is and decide, okay, maybe make some recommendations, maybe find some adjustments and seeing things that maybe the client even doesn't notice yet. But really work the best solution where we can optimize their resources and their success, their planning for success.
Yeah. So really not cookie cutter, really just making it for
Yeah, it's basically
customizing it for
having
each.
yeah
Yeah.
having like the form, but also deciding what ingredients you put into it.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's helped your business grow?
I think my interpersonal skills, I do because I do a lot of hands-on work. I prefer to have more interaction with the clients and really kind of sit down and understand what the client's desires and visions are. So rather than imposing my way of doing things, I try to get to see I try to get the client to be heard. So if the client
Hmm.
feels like they're being listened to, they're being heard. I've seen scenarios of where somebody says, "Oh, this person doesn't know what they're talking about," and let me tell them works in my business world. I've actually
Yeah.
had people tell me that, like, this is how
Yeah.
it works in our world. I basically, like, I understand, I come from 2 decades of experience that I've learned a lot from, but at the same time, I've not been in the client's shoes.
Hmm.
So I haven't experienced what they specifically have experienced, maybe similar situations that I can share, but I'm not them.
Yeah.
So making sure that the client is heard is really my primary goal.
All right. So this kind of leads me to marketing, which is something that's vital to every business out there, and it's often an area business owners struggle with. So for your business, how many different marketing strategies do you use?
Uh, Mine has been mostly word of mouth, which actually has worked better than expected. I have had some feedback I've had people reach out to me because they knew somebody I knew 10 years ago.
Hmm.
And they said, "Hey, I was talking to this person and they said I should give you a call." And I haven't even talked to that person in 10 years. So so never underestimate the word of mouth. That said, my intention is always to be more proactive on social media, and that is something that I actually have not had much time for to do. I Marketing strategy is something that I actually teach and am very much familiar. It was one of my concentrations in business school, but it's one of the things that I have not yet successfully applied to myself because of my desire to spend more time with clients. Kind of business planning. I'm still part of my family business, so I still have a lot of responsibilities there. So really, kind of organizing and structuring uh, the social media plan that I know how to do, but have not yet done for myself. That's one of the
Hmm.
biggest challenges.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's so hard when you're, a single owner in your business trying to juggle all the balls that have to be done, you know. So,
Yeah.
what approach have you taken to track your leads? Do you have a CRM that you prefer to use or?
I'm much more, I do use a project management platform called Teamwork. It's actually Irish based. It's actually something that one of my clients used in the past years ago when they were just starting out. And it's grown really well, and it's grown with my business as well. So this is a platform where I onboard a client if they don't have their own system. Sometimes clients require me to be on their system, but if they don't have their own CRM, I'll onboard them into mine, and we can track
Mm,
progress and tasks and things like that. Make sure the KPIs are being met, and the time also, if it's important for them to monitor how much exact time, if it's like an hourly fee, then that works as well. In terms of my success, that's something that I really I enjoy doing this so much that for me, having like a straight goal of like, okay, I want a 20% growth, or like I want like a 5% growth, or I set goals for myself. I'm actually, those who know me, I'm very goal oriented, but I've become much more flexible in that sense because for me, the value that I give to clients is more important than the numbers and figures.
yeah, so teamwork sounds like you said project management. So that's when you onboard a client and you're tracking their progress and you're using that. Do you use anything to track leads before they become customers, to be able to reach out more to your leads, or does teamwork do
Yeah,
that too?
yeah, that currently I do that more manually. I know that there's solutions out there that actually do that for you. I've looked at a few of them. For me, I just do that manually because I'm more kind of a small shop right now.
Hmm.
I don't have hundreds of clients that I need to manage. So
Yeah.
I do usually only take on a few at a time just so that I can make sure that I can devote enough resources to them.
We spend a bunch of time focusing on the business and sharing a few of the things that you're doing. I'd love to take a step back and dive into your journey a little bit more. I know you said you grew up, your family was in business, so that's kind of how you grew up. But what made you choose to go in business for yourself versus working for somebody else, especially after you went to school and got your MBA and all that?
I always I had worked for a commercial real estate firm before. Right out of college, I had basically a choice to either work with my family, do something on my own, or go work for a company. And I did want to work for a company. I did want to get that experience.
Hmm.
At the same time, working in my family business gave me that hands-on experience of being your own manager, being your own owner, even though I was working technically for my parents or with my
Yeah.
parents, but they're still my bosses
Yeah.
at home and at work. But I still, they trusted me. They didn't go to business school. They sent me to business school, so they trusted me to put in certain processes and business plans into our firm. So kind of knowing that I can have something to share, that I have some value to offer others,
Hmm.
that I have kind of grown with, and seeing that that's what was needed after my MBA, really kind of guided me into starting something on my own, especially with when the pandemic happened, and I could see like there's a lot of people that were lost and looking for some hands-on advice.
Hmm.
That said, I've kept my eyes open. I have looked at some opportunities for maybe working for others on the consulting basis. That's always an option as well, to have like a
Hmm.
major firm where you can contract them for consulting. So I'm open to those opportunities. Of course, never hurts.
Yeah.
But I've always felt like being my own decision maker, it comes with a lot of risk. This, time management and saying, okay, I'm my own boss, so I get, if I don't do something because I want, it's a nice weather outside and I want to go for a run,
Yeah.
that's on me. Like I get to
Right.
decide whether like I can do that right now or not. And if
Right.
I spend too much time, socializing or doing something, it's me that I'm hurting, not my boss.
Yeah.
So being like
Yeah.
self-discipline is a big part of it.
Oh yeah, for sure. So as you look back on the journey, what challenges did you face early on?
The challenges of starting my own business, actually my first couple of clients, it was an interesting challenge because especially when you working with entrepreneurs, and my first couple of clients were
Hmm.
startup businesses. The challenge was that you have something to offer, you know how to help them to make it better. That doesn't mean that they will listen. And I've had experiences where I'm actually very optimistic when it comes to businesses. I look on the bright side, and I always have success at the foresight. At the same time, I've gone through enough business challenges and experiences where things did not go well, and a lot of lessons learned from that. So I'm always looking at the risk management as well. And if I see certain risks and red flags, it's my duty, I feel like, to inform the client, saying you want to pay attention to this, or you want to be careful about that, or you want to, maybe insure yourself against like certain things that could come up. And with startups and entrepreneurs who are really excited to get their idea going,
Hmm.
that's the last thing on their mind is what could go wrong.
Yeah.
So that's probably one of the biggest challenges that I experienced as a freelance consultant, is that how do you protect, it's like almost like a parent and a child, like how do you protect the child but at the same time let them do their own thing and learn their lessons as well.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because, even in coaching too, business owners that they don't really like to be told what to do. So if you go in there and tell them what to do, they're not really open to that so much. So they have to come to that conclusion themselves, so
Yeah.
that is a challenge. And how do you get them to come to that conclusion themselves, so that they want to actually do it? So, um, how did you overcome that challenge, of that?
Yeah, I learned that it's okay. You can't force somebody to do anything. So you can bring up certain thing, you can make certain suggestions. At the same time, if you feel like it's really a critical point of the business, like there are certain things that I just know will not get financed, and
Mhm.
then I would bring it up in a certain way where I'm not directly criticizing what they're doing, but basically saying you might want to think about it. So I changed the way I approach things. Nobody likes to be told what to do, But if
Yeah.
somebody is shown an example of why something might be a good idea, that's a more kind of like a softer approach where you're
Yeah.
not like forcing yourself on them, you're not dictating them, but you're helping them understand the important aspects that they're missing.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So what's been a recent challenge that you're dealing with?
The recent challenge has been uh, the a lot of the uncertainty that we're experiencing in the world today
Hmm.
has also trickled down to decision making for clients. A lot of I've noticed that some clients that are really just can't make up their mind on which way they want to go or what they want to do, and so I've experienced some challenges in terms of decision making. I think on the process, one is the technological innovation. So I'm constantly hearing the debate in terms of AI. Is it good?
Hmm.
Is it bad? And the benefits and challenges of that. Obviously, what's happening in the world economically and geopolitically. I have a lot of businesses and friends that are in the Middle East right now. I spent a lot of years through my family business working in the Emirates, and they could not, even 2 months ago, could not have dreamed of experiencing explosions and attacks that they've had in the last recent weeks.
Yeah.
So that kind of uncertainty is definitely has everybody kind of on the edge of their seat and really just not knowing what to do. I would say even worse than pandemic time, because in the pandemic time, at least think it was a black swan event, but everybody knew what was happening. They were told like saying, we're shutting down, you're not coming to work. Like this is it.
Yeah.
And this was widespread. Here, there is so many different mixed messages coming through right now that people really are having a hard time trusting and understanding whom to listen to and what guidance to accept.
Yeah. So let's fast forward a little bit and look at what comes next. Where do you see your business in the next 3 to 5 years?
I see the next 3 to 5 years becoming more open. So something with in terms of becoming more stable in terms of social media. I have been for a while thinking about doing my own podcast and some kind of or seminar teaching where I can do like more general presentation of my capabilities. So
Hmm.
that's one of your questions earlier was, what do I wish people would know about me? Yeah, I've written some white papers during the pandemic, so I looked at that route. But at that time, I didn't have much of a following, so I thought, okay, this was too time consuming based on the feedback I'm getting. So, like you're
Hmm.
saying, measuring your leads is important. But yeah, I do see myself in terms of growth, uh, doing more exposure online, getting myself out there more, doing podcasts like this one,
Hmm.
so that people do learn about me and how I can help them and the value that I can bring them, and hopefully get some attestations and more word of mouth.
Yeah. Okay. So, what's been your approach to goal setting? I mean, how many goals do you set at a time? How do you document them? What's the time frame?
This is a really, really interesting question because if you asked me 20 years ago, I would have given you a schedule of my goals, my short-term goals, my midterm goals, my long-term goals, the entire schedule of what I'm planning on doing. My every hour of my day was scheduled, and that is something that I have learned both through just kind of personal growth as well as experience. That if anything, the pandemic taught us is that you can plan anything that you want, but if you are faced with an unforeseen force majeure event, all the planning goes out the window.
Yeah.
And if all your life is focused only on the plans, you can get completely lost. That's what happened in the pandemic. Everybody's plans just, could go into the shredder.
Yeah.
And so I have become much more flexible in terms of my planning. I have aspirations and I know where I want to be, where I see myself in a few years, like you just asked. At the same time, I'm taking it one step at a time. So my planning is more like day to day. Like I wake up in the morning saying, this is what I want to do today. And then I see how it goes. And I decide
Hmm.
to kind of prioritize as things come up. And, sometimes you have to readjust your goals, and that's okay too, as long as you have the main big idea, big picture in mind. So having one big goal, and then small steps that may shift or change as long as you know where you're going.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's almost like quarterly goals are much more effective than big long goals, because you're making those smaller steps there. So we've covered a lot of ground in our conversation today. A lot of great nuggets. As we begin to wrap up, I have a few rapid fire questions, kind of quick top of the head answers. Okay.
Sure.
All right. So first question, what is the key to success for you?
Uh, Honestly, happiness, being happy with myself, being satisfactory with how I did today.
And what's one piece of advice you'd give other business owners or somebody wanting to go into business?
Make sure you always love what you're doing. Pick something that you love because it can get challenging, but if you love it, you'll keep going.
All right. So, what's one book that you've read or listened to that's influenced your thinking?
I would say more recently, there's a lot, but more recently, I would recommend Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now, because one of the things that I've learned, especially in the uncertainty world that we live in today, is the only thing that's assured is the present moment.
Hmm.
So the more you find yourself present and look at what you have right now, the easier it is to plan for the future. If you're worrying about what's going to happen tomorrow, you're missing what you could be doing right now.
Yeah,
And
that's a
he
great
has a lot
point.
of things about that.
That's a great point. I have to check that book out. So, if you had to choose only one area of your business that you could immediately improve, what would it be?
I would say the social media marketing. So,
Okay. Well, before we go into the final question of the day, how can others learn more about you and your company, and how can they get in contact with you?
I have my website is IPCH International.com. It has a contact form that is goes directly into my email. I'm also online on LinkedIn as my full name, Xenia Razinski. I'm on social media, even though I don't use it. I'm pretty much on most of the major platforms. So my main handle is Smile, because Smile is my kind of motto. Like you have to do everything with smiling. So it's Smile XSR 17. And I'm looking to doing more, becoming more active in Instagram. I had been off Instagram for a while. I just recently restarted my account on there. So hopefully we'll be seeing more of me online.
Okay, great, great. So, last question of the day. What inspires you most these days?
Inspires me. Oh, good question. So really focusing on everything that's positive. All of us are going through challenges. My family's going through challenges. And I get inspired by anything that reminds me to look on the bright side of things, to find the silver lining in all of the difficult situations, and really finding gratitude. I would say, if anything, what inspires me most is finding things that I am grateful for. When everything shit hits the fan and you think that, oh, I don't know what's going on, I don't know what's going to happen, I like nothing that I've planned worked out. What do I do? I'm looking at, okay, what do I have that I'm grateful for? What do I
Mhm.
have that I can use, that I can rely on right now? And that's the most important thing.
Yeah, that's a great comment there because yeah, gratitude is super important. It seems the more you show it, the more things get better. So
Yeah.
well, that's great, Xenia. That wraps up the interview. Nice job. Thanks so much for taking time with us today.
Sure. Thank you for having me.
So if you're a business owner who wants to grow your company and increase profit and get your time back, visit the link in the description and schedule a strategy session with me.